Previously, Yoguri and his classmates were transferred to another world, and those who received the system's blessings were chosen to become sages. So all those classmates left Yoguri and Tomochika behind to become dragon's food, and even casted a charm spell on them so that dragon would target them, but Yoguri is a living walking death note. And he only needs to think to kill someone. That's one overpowered ability. So Yogiri and Tomochika decided to travel to the capital of the kingdom to follow their classmates in hopes of finding a way back home, but when they came across a town, a follower of the sage named Lane had turned the whole genre of the anime to zombie apocalypse, and on the other hand, Lane was after Yoguri to find out more about his instant death magic because she wants to die, but they were in the middle of a zombie city and wanted to escape as fast as they could. But Masayuki was a follower of Lane, so he ordered the citizens to find Yoguri if they want to survive, so the citizens had caught on to them. But anyone with killing intent just dies even if they gets near Yoguri, so to stop this madness he himself gets to Masayuki to meet him, but not to surrender, but to ask him to take down the barrier surrounding the city because he wants to catch a train to capital, and in return he promises to let him leave, but Masayuki thought of it as a joke. So Yoguri killed all the undead surrounding them. In a way, if things does move means it's alive, so his death magic worked on them. Their Masayuki gets overconfident and transformed. But fight again ends with a simple word, die, that takes care of the things. And suddenly this whole city got under Lane as she manipulates the barrier to brainwash the citizens to kill Yoguri by sitting far away in safety to test his abilities. And Yoguri kept killing people that were coming at him, so Leon makes her body double as Plan B, but before her. Plan A was to let the darkness attack the city because whatever it touches vanishes away. She wanted to test if Yoguri could kill it, and this time, again, Yoguri even killed a shadow with a word. So Lane started her Plan B. She started dropping down body double like a burning explosive, so with far sight power, Tomochika saw it that those dropping bombs are the same women and Ryuta. The mayor told them it's Lane's body double magic. He assists Yoguri in figuring out the next location where Lane would drop a bomb. So Yoguri moves according to plan to the calculated area and targets the killing intent, which worked out and Lane died as a result, yet her real body woke up in a different place. But aside from Lane, Ryuta thanked Yoguri and Tomochika for saving the town from Lane and gifted them a car, but Yoguri had learned driving from games, so he lets Tomochika drive. So they were heading to the capital and Tomochika had one heck of a time driving, and still Yoguri was sound asleep. He was dreaming about his days with Asaka. She was chosen by the government to become a caretaker of Yoguri, but she got a real spooky vibes the way she was going into the facility. Yukio informed her that she has to take care of codename Alpha Omega, a test subject that kills anyone just by thinking, so Asaka has to educate him with common knowledge to save humanity. She thought she's gonna meet a monster down there, so in simple terms, Asaka screwed herself with this job, so she gets to the underground chamber. But it has its own environment to keep the Alpha Omega. It lived in an old house, and she saw a kid in there. Asaka got pissed that they were locking out a kid in here. So she threw him out and told him to play or whatever a kid does, but he killed a devil that sneaked into Asaka's shadow, and since it was late, he wanted to play some other time. Asaka realized that. And Yoguri was hungry at the time, and she was supposed to cook for him since it's her part of the job, but she was terrible at it, so she took our cup noodles for him. The kid didn't have a name at the time, so Asaka was the one who named him Yoguri, but Yoguri took Asaka's last name, as he thought of her as his family. But then Tomochika woke him up at the dead end, as though another dragon showed up to attack them, but it died a cheap death, and behind him he had a whole horde. And even so they all died with a single word from Yoguri, and seeing that, the dragon boss tried to run away, so Yoguri threatened her to stop and called her back. She was a tiny kid named Atola and she was testing them to see if they are qualified to meet Swords Master, but it had nothing to do with them. But Swords Master rivals Sage and he told Atola to pick a perfect candidate to inherit his title. She was like a salesman and begged them to meet the Swords Master. Two of them goes along with her and Atola led them to the place just like she did to the others. They were all aiming to become Swords Master, but Yoguri wanted to drop out of the competition. So the Swords Master announced a battle royal and if anyone escapes, then all the person present would fail. He created a battle to death by promises of a powerful gift. And out of that mess Richard and Line came out who never wanted to harm anyone. Atola was still begging the Yoguri and Tomochika to participate in the trial to become Swords Master. So Yogiri gave in to her. Their Attila was leading them to the next part trial, and their Richard told them that the Divine King had sealed away the demon god, so they need the Swordsmaster to maintain the barrier. But right after coming to the tower they felt a strong magic, and Yogiri killed the one who was radiating that magic, but he kept it a secret for now. Then they moved to the top of the tower and saw the Dark God, and their Swordmaster told them to move down to the first floor by gathering 100 points to pass. But Yogiri had already killed the Dark Lord and told this to Tomochika, so there was no point since Nemesis is dead. Yet still they keeps it a secret and started moving down, and Line just knocked the door of death with his bad luck, but he has magic stones to save himself, which were given to him by the goddess. So he entered a wrong room once again and once again met the death, and the one who sent him there was a mad knight Teresa, and as usual, Yogiri killed her. They saw Line had lost his hand, so they attached him back to one piece, so the four of them decided to go down their own way to minimize the risk. But since they were in the safe zone, they decided to take a rest for the day. Their Line used the stones to get a nice weapon or something, but it summoned the goddess itself. And she's the one who gave Line those stones that work as a gacha machine because he's way too unlucky, and more so she just got here to check up on him. So the next day in the morning, Moko woke Tomochika up because she was stuck in the walls. That tower was sucking away the souls, so she begged them to help, so Yogiri helped her get out before the tower sucked her away. There he realized there was a reason that the tower was gathering the souls, so he warned Tomochika in advance because he's going to kill anyone who even seems like an enemy. But Tomochika knew already and trusted him completely with her safety, which made Yogiri blush because she trusted him so much. So they got cleaned up to leave the safe zone but met the creator of the tower. He sensed that Yogiri is a real problem, so he came to kill him but died himself. That's messed up the tower system since the creator is dead. He was the one maintaining the tower and the barrier around the Dark God, so everything is now messed up. Even so, Yogiri and Tomochika advanced further and saw a guy with harem stopping anyone coming his way to gather points. There, Yogiri asked them to let them go kindly. But Masaki was confident that his harem would win, so Yogiri killed the girls and won even before match started. So he wanted to move out but knew Masahaki wouldn't let him. So even he lost his life against the death god. There, the girl who was fighting with Masahaki's harem asked Yogiri for help. But sadly, that's where the video comes to an end for today. Please stay tuned to watch the next part of the Death God anime. Until then, take care.